Hi everybody. My name is Adam Hyatt and I am a support magician at Influitive. And today we're going to be talking about the art of challenge creation, best practices with Heather Pepe from PGI. I'm very happy to have Heather here. I'm really excited for this webinar because Heather's hub is just incredible. The challenges on there are amazing, and I was so impressed when I saw them, and we knew that we had to have her speak with everyone. So I'd like to introduce Heather.
Hi Adam, thanks for having me speak today.
My pleasure. Looking forward to it. So Heather, would you like to give us an introduction about yourself?
Sure. I'm the Sales Enablement Manager at PGI. We're a large collaboration solutions company based in Atlanta. And I'm also the main administrator of PGI Insiders, which launched on January 27th.
Great. Okay, so let's begin. And just so everybody knows, if you have any questions throughout about challenge creation, challenge ideas, or anything you want to ask Heather, just write it in the chat. You can find that on your screen, and we'll get to that at the end of the class. So I thought we'd start off with a poll. What are you most hoping to learn about? So challenge creation best practices, challenge ideas, or challenge / campaign results. Just let us know, and Heather can kind of fine-tune our presentation for your needs. Wow, so it looks like an overwhelming amount of people are looking for challenge ideas, which is perfect because a big portion of the class is going to be on challenge ideas, on different ask, education, and fun challenges. So you picked the right webinar, folks. Okay, Heather, take it away with your tips and tricks.
Perfect. Thank you, Adam. So I'll definitely go into creating challenges and kind of the best practices we've used so far at PGI when creating our daily challenges. But first, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of background on PGI Insiders and why we started this. So a few months back, I had a list of customer references, and it was a spreadsheet. It was not a living and breathing document. It needed to be updated regularly. And we had requests from sales who needed references to talk to different prospects, for things like that, for RFPs or other things, and we were having trouble fulfilling those requests. So we needed more referenceable customers. I'm also in charge of our case study program, and we wanted to get more case study to highlight our customer successes. So those are kind of the two reasons that we actually implemented PGI Insiders. So we launched on January 27th, so it'll be 3 months on Monday. We're really excited about that. And I just wanted to go over kind of our results to date, a few of those, so you guys kind of understand where PGI Insiders is right now. So we currently have 291 customers and 12 employees in Insiders. We have 182 customers engaged to date. We've had over 3,700 challenge completions. In fact, I was pulling numbers for this today at around 10 o'clock, and between 10 and 1:30, we had 209 challenge completions. So for some reason, people are in today on a Thursday during lunch doing challenges. I actually looked at the advocate who's done the most challenges in Insiders, and she's done 228 by herself. And I mean, that's really common with our top 10. Any of those advocates pretty much they pretty much do anything I post, any kind of challenge. I actually kind of run out of challenges to give them sometimes, and we'll go over how many I put in a week, but they pretty much do everything I post. They're doing challenges at night, they're on our app, so we have some really engaged people in there, which is great. And we've had over 40 third-party reviews, and that's including app reviews, about 15 referral submissions, and we also have a challenge up for people to refer their colleagues into PGI Insiders, and 10 people have done that. 26 people have provided their NPS, and 24 of those were actually above 8. We have all kinds of product videos and product quizzes I put up. We've had over 60 product quizzes completed, 47 product videos watched. I've had 2 case studies come out of it and 6 testimonials, which could be quotes used for the website, social media, email campaigns, or things like that. And a ton of social media activity. So just with Twitter alone, we've had over 80 tweets or follows. So those are kind of some of our results to date. Now I want to go into kind of how it happens on a daily basis. So number one key thing is my team. I could not do it without my team. There's a core team that does brainstorming, and we plan out challenges together. They send me challenge ideas throughout the day with links to different things we can use or different articles or different fun things. So definitely couldn't do it without them. And our strategic communications team is really great about posting new blogs. On their Twitter page, they link to all kinds of interesting articles that I use. So that's definitely number one. I add in challenges daily. So usually I add in about 3 to 5. And I try to balance those with fun, asks, and educational challenges. So I keep those at a third. And I plan those and track those using a spreadsheet. So each week has a tab, and I put in the challenge name, how many points, the target audience, and then the challenge description. And that way I can keep up with who I've targeted with those weekly challenges, how many points we offered. I turn them green once they're published so I can keep up with which ones are actually published. So that's kind of how I keep track. And then targeting is super important. I target either by product group. So when they join Insiders, I ask what PGI product they use. It's one of our featured starter challenges. And when they click off their response, they go into that actual product group. So I actually target challenges by group and by level. So they're in the starter group to start with, and then they move to the advanced level after they complete 3 challenges. So some things like maybe a retweet challenge, we have a weekly one. I might not target the starter group. I would target the advanced group, for instance, because they've actually been doing stuff in Insiders. And same thing for the levels. I wouldn't target a case study challenge to our advanced group. I target that towards our advocate group because I know that they've gone in and done a lot of challenges and that they're a happy customer. Same thing for like the review challenges. And then for the evangelist level, we've had 8 customers reach that level. And I try to reward them once they come in and become evangelists. And I also ask their feedback. What should the April reward be? I try to get kind of specific challenges for them since they've done so much in Insiders. Every day I feature and unfeatured new challenges to keep them fresh. So I usually have about 6 that are featured for anyone who's in the advanced group or beyond. And again, I try to balance those with a third educational, a third asks, and a third fun. Cloning challenges is one of my favorite things. I don't think I've created a challenge from scratch in a long time. So I pretty much have all of the templates I need to clone. So I definitely recommend using that. So for instance, if I put up a trivia challenge today, I would just clone last week's trivia challenge and just change the answers. So cloning definitely saves a lot of time. In the beginning of doing Insiders, I made a template with point values. So say a case study for us was worth $100. I made 2% of the points equal that value. So our case studies are up for 5,000 points. So depending on what it was, I have that template with the different challenge types and the point values, and then I based all of my challenges off that when I was creating them. But at this point with the cloning, I don't even need to refer to it anymore because everything is already set to all the point values. And in the beginning, I did adjust those up and down depending on if challenges were getting dismissed or not really being done, then I could move the points up or down based on that. I also archive old or duplicate challenges to avoid clutter. And this might just be me, but I like to go into the Challenges tab and just see all of the active challenges. And I can go through those on a weekly basis and clear out anything that's old. So if I have a couple of really interesting articles and I have an older one from 2 weeks ago, then I would archive that older one so it goes off of my active screen. And one of the things I do for almost every challenge is export the data. It's so easy to do, and I can track the advocate's feedback that way. There's almost every challenge I ask for some type of feedback. If it's an article, I ask, do you want to see more articles like this? Did you find the article interesting? Did you agree with the tips that it provided, or something like that? So I always export that data to look at the feedback. My team is also great about going in and commenting and liking the customers' responses. So they'll go in and engage with them in the community as well as in the actual challenges, which I think really helps, put some faces to the PGI name, and they can get to know the team that way. And then I send out weekly re-engagement campaigns as well for those people who haven't logged and engaged in the last 2 weeks. I have a group set up, and then I just export those names, and then I send out typically a fun challenge to those who haven't been in the last 2 weeks. And I try to get them re-engaged that way.
Perfect. So let me just jump in quickly. We have some questions that a lot of people are asking. How are 20 challenges a week possible all the time? Is that normal? That's not typically what is done on Hubs. Heather has a very good system. She's very organized and very creative. That's how she's able to release so many challenges. And the next section of this presentation is going to be going over some of these amazing ideas that she has for different types of challenges. So Heather, take it away.
Okay, perfect. I have a little bit of a cold, sorry. So for educational challenges, like I said, my team is really great. We have a lot of content pushed out from other teams as well. Like our demand gen team does webinars, and StratCom's always writing interesting things. So it's not all me writing this stuff. I'm just sharing it with our customers through this platform. So for educational challenges, any kind of industry or helpful articles are great. They just love these things. Like anything that's to do with productivity or teamwork, or PGI is all about meetings. So anything about helping their meetings or helping them be more creative, productive, or collaborative, or focusing better, or whatever it is, they love reading these. I usually get these off Inc.com or Entrepreneur. Also Harvard Business Review has some great articles. So on some of them too, if we have a blog post up, I actually ask them to tweet about it too, and then that creates kind of the social media presence as well for our articles that PGI writes. For product challenges, for other educational ones, we have a lot of newer solutions coming out. So I'll share with them the release notes or the what's new documents that our product team creates. Or we have different videos that come out that kind of show how the different products work. So I always try to give them a sneak peek on stuff that hasn't even been released on the website yet. So that's kind of in our messaging, is that we offer them first access, and I try to do that with anything product related that comes out first. So we also have a training department that puts up some great tutorials on things. So we have one for our product Global Meet, how to use it on their iPad, how to use it on their iPhone, so they can go and watch these tutorials on YouTube. So those have been really great too. I believe we've had, let's see, sorry, I had this in front of me. Oh yeah, we've had over 50 views of our tutorials. And then every week we offer a tip of the week. So whether it's how to filter challenges, using the community and posting a discussion, submitting a referral I had up for 1 week, or or recommending a colleague to join PGI Insiders, any kind of tip we can provide, I change that out usually every Tuesday. And for our case studies, to highlight our customers' successes and to get our customers that are in there who might not use that product interested in that product. So for this particular one for Halloran, we interviewed Ross Geller, that's his name. He's a great customer of ours, and he uses iMeet. So people could be aware of how his company uses iMeet, his use case. And then I actually ask a follow-up after they read the case studies if they want more information about that particular product. So those are educational ones. I try to talk about upcoming webinars, basically any kind of information I can give them that will help them know about PGI products or help them with their careers, like with those articles that I discussed.
Thanks, Heather. And just so everybody knows, the class is indeed being recorded, so you can find the recording on the Influitive VIP Hub. I hope all of you are in the Influitive VIP Hub because it's full of awesome things like these, all the AdvocateHub class recordings. So yeah, definitely check that out later. And yeah, you can find the slides there as well in the video, so you don't have to worry about missing anything now. Okay, Heather, take it away.
Cool. These are the fun challenges, which are always very fun. So one thing I do that's probably a little different than others is I do daily fun challenges. And you'll notice that my point values for fun ones are always lower, but it brings people in. And we have an average challenge completion of 3 per visit. So they're coming in and they're doing other stuff too, is what I'm saying. So Monday is our Solve This Riddle day. Tuesday is Trivia Tuesday, which is pretty straightforward, 4 trivia questions. Wednesday is Classic Quote Wednesday, which is where there are 3 movie quotes and they have to guess the movie. And by the way, we do give partial credit if they get 1 or 2 out of 3 right on those. Thursday is This Day in History. So today, April 23rd, it was 15-something, William Shakespeare was born. Also interesting, he died on his birthday, but that was our This Day in History today. We also we usually throw up a Guess This Landmark challenge on Thursdays as well, which is actually from Influitive. That's one of the challenge templates. On Friday, this is definitely our most popular challenge by far, is our Caption This Photo challenge. And I find different photos that they can caption. So I think last week it was a baseball caption challenge. And then the next week everyone votes on the winner. We usually narrow down to the top 3 or 4. And then everyone votes on who they think should win, and that person gets extra points. So our Insider of the Month, this was something we started for March that we did in April. So we decided that with the person who had the most challenge completions in March, and it was Keith. And he gave us a little bio about himself, told us about his family on the challenge. And this was really great to see because in the comments, I left those visible, and people were like, "Congratulations, Keith." There's just a real sense of community in there where everyone was just so happy for Keith that he won. And I think it made him feel pretty special too, and we gave him some extra points. Every week we feature a different PGI employee to meet the team. So we have Cynthia up this week. She's a marketing manager. And then we do 2 truths and 1 lie about, they provide those to me and I post those. And then our customers have to guess what the lie is. So I'm going through different departments and putting up different people every week, but that's been a really, really engaging challenge. I have an example of one of our caption photos up here. This was one I think from 2 weeks ago that everyone voted on this last week, but it was a wedding photo that I found. But that by far has been the most popular. One of our other most popular ones is the Are You Smart Enough to Work for NASA quiz. I think that was in our top 10 most popular challenges. I think that was number 10. Also, What's Your Ideal Vacation was a survey that we did, and that was, I think, 4th on our most popular challenges. So that was a great way to engage advocates because everyone's kind of going on spring break or summer vacation. I asked where they were going or what kind of vacation they prefer and if they had plans in the works. And then people were commenting on other people's responses and liking them, and it's been a really engaging challenge. I've actually kept that one up for a while just because of how popular it's been. We just started the point raffle this month, which was it was an Influitive idea. So we've had quite a few people sign up for that, and I think we'll continue that for May as well. And one thing that's also been really, really engaging is any kind of contest. So we had them submit their healthy recipes, and then the team our team, the PGI team, actually made all of the recipes. And we did a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place winner for that contest. Right now we actually have a photo contest up to take your best nature photo, and then we're going to have the advocates vote on the best photo for that. So the fun ones are really easy. Like I said, I make those a lower point value. Any kind of holiday that's coming up, I like to do holiday quizzes, like for St. Patrick's Day. Learn the history of St. Patrick's Day and take a quiz. I did the same thing for April Fool's Day. I'll probably do something similar for Cinco de Mayo and something different for Mother's Day. And the contests have been super popular. And meeting the team, I was a little surprised about, but that's been a great fun one as well.
Great, thank you for that. So next we have the next poll, which is what is your challenge ratio? So in your hub, what do you typically do? Do you have mostly asks? Do you have mostly educational? Do you have mostly fun? Or do you try and keep a balance between everything? Let us know. This is really interesting, and maybe Heather can touch upon this, although she already has a little bit. I have 19 respondents. That means there's some slackers over here. Get to the poll and vote. Wow, impressive numbers. So about 75% of people try to keep a perfect balance between fun, educational, and ask challenges. That's incredible because that's the best practice that we often preach. So it's good to see that everybody's doing that. Heather, I know you're definitely doing it.
Yeah, that's great to see, definitely.
Okay, now we're on to the hot stuff, the ask challenges.
Woo! This is the stuff that it's the most important to us. So this is great. We have a reference group challenge where I ask people if they want to join our reference group first. And then I actually categorize them by what they're willing to do for us. So I ask them if they're willing to participate in an RFP email request or an RFP phone conversation or a media interview or an analyst inquiry. That way I kind of have them grouped in my reference group and already categorized. So if someone comes to me and needs a customer with certain requirements, I can go ahead and look in my reference group for those customers. Case studies. Like I said, we've had 2 case studies come out of Insiders so far. And what I noticed is that some people might not want to be interviewed for a case study. So I actually added the testimonial challenge, and we've had 6 submissions come from that. But I found that was a little bit easier and low barrier for people to do. And what they did is just included the product name in their response, and they just gave us a couple of really good quotes for us to use on the website, in social media, in email campaigns, wherever we want to use them. So that's been very successful and still really serves the purpose of getting that feedback from our customers and us being able to showcase it. So that's the testimonial challenge. And for the reviews, the third-party reviews, I think I have maybe 4 or 5 of these up for our products, and they've been very successful. So I have different challenges. I do change each one. So this one's for G2 Crowd. We have one for reviews.com and some other websites, and I do change the entire challenge up just to make it so that it doesn't look like the same one. And also with the reviews, that includes our app reviews as well, and leaving those on either the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. And one of the things I ask when they first come into the hub, besides what product they use, is what app store they use, so that I know when I'm targeting those app download or app review challenges, I can target them to the right app store so I can give them appropriate directions to leave a review on there. For the referral challenge, I created one on our home screen as well as the one that's already in the tab at the top. I've actually had all 15 referrals we've had come through the home screen one, interestingly enough. So I do have that. And then for our inside organization referrals for PGI Insiders, we've got that challenge up as well, and that's been very successful so far. I think I had 3 or 4 come in today during lunchtime. One of our newer, I think 3 of our customers submitted some inside referrals today. We also ask them to download our Agenda app as well as a couple of our other product apps as our asks. And then for surveys, we're always asking for product feedback. We have one up for functionality, as you see here. And then we ask other interesting things, like how do you take breaks, or how do you manage your work-life balance, or how do you focus in an office setting? Things that I can then send the feedback over to our strategic communications team. And they might want to use those topics for blog posts or on Twitter or something like that. So I try to help out our other teams and kind of get that feedback. And plus it's interesting to us and it helps us get to know our customers better. Like I mentioned earlier, we've had a lot of social media activity. So we've got, of course, the usual asking them to follow us or share things on social media as well. The NPS, that's been a pretty popular challenge, and it's been really great to see that most of our customers would recommend us. And like I just mentioned, the social media challenges, I've found that people don't really want to go on Facebook from work, so I really don't do a lot of challenges for Facebook, but Twitter is definitely used a lot. So like I said, with our PGI articles, I ask them to tweet about those, anything PGI related, or our CEO will post articles on LinkedIn, and I have them share that on LinkedIn, but I don't really do anything with Facebook usually. And then the community is super important. One of my first challenges is for them to introduce themselves. And as you guys can see, a lot of people have contributed to that. And I just think it's very interactive for them to go to the community and meet each other there. And I ask some icebreaker questions like, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do? What's your favorite cookie? Why'd you join PGI Insiders? And we get a lot of great insights about why they joined, whether it's the rewards or they want to network with other people, or they want to learn about our products or get to know us better. The responses range, from different answers. So that's pretty interesting. And I think that's pretty much it for asks, except we do ask that they visit us at events, and then once they come to our booth, we do get their business card and we give them points for coming and visiting us at events as well. Adam, are you there?
Oh, hey, I was talking to mute. Okay, as I was saying to myself, over here, just write out what you think. Sorry, write out your most successful challenges. So let us know, what's been the best challenge you added to your hub. If there's something that's been especially successful, let us know what it is. I would love to compile a list. I can read it out, and I can also post it in the VIP challenge for the AdvocateHub feedback. I can make a link to it where we can have a kind of resource with all these different challenge ideas that everybody's posting. So write out what you think. So one person says they do use the Caption This Photo challenge, and it's been the most successful for them. So good hint for everybody listening. Another one loves to do scavenger hunts, watching videos, etc. Somebody else they have no ideas, they're not creative, which is why it's good that you're in this class, and maybe this can inspire some creativity. Tell us where you're located is a very popular one for one person. Favorite food, fun memes, questions related to. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of difficulty seeing all the answers. They're being cut off. I'll post all the different answers and challenge ideas in the challenge in VIP, and we can see it from there. Sorry about that. I did have a question about the challenge template library. The challenge template library can be found from your admin view. If you just go Add a Challenge, that's from the Challenges page, and you click on the button that says Add Challenge. That will take you to the challenge template library. Here you can choose to make a blank challenge, a new, fresh one, or you can choose to use one of the challenges that we created and preloaded for you. So we try and update it every week. on the left sidebar, you see different categories. One will be new this month. If you click on the new this month category, you'll see the new ones that will be released. So definitely give it a go. That can be very helpful and save a lot of time and save a lot of creativity juices when you're making new challenges. Okay, and now we're back to Heather. We're going to move on to questions that were asked through VIP. So Heather, Ryan Quackenbush is asking, how do you properly attach points?
Yep. I think I mentioned that earlier with my challenge template, or the points template I created at the very beginning, and then I've kind of adjusted accordingly. And now at this point, I just clone challenges, and then I can refer to my challenge spreadsheet and look at past weeks and what I've done for those particular challenges.
Cool. So you kind of, yeah, it's a little bit of hard work now, and then later on you'll have it much easier.
It pays off later, yes.
Okay, we have two questions from Alyssa. The first is, which challenges do you send a notification for?
And I've been kind of switching this up based on day and time of the week. I've been trying different things. So I've actually been keeping track of whatever day I send it and what time, and then how many people have actually come back in after I've sent that email out. But I usually send it for those daily fun challenges that I mentioned. We have a different one for every day, just to kind of have a low barrier entry point for them to come back in. And then, like I said, people are doing more than one challenge when they're coming in, so it kind of brings them back in and re-engages them.
Okay, and when to post fun challenges versus educational / ask challenges throughout the week?
Yep, so on a daily basis, I'm probably posting all three, and just trying to keep those balanced and trying to keep the featured challenges balanced as well. So on a daily and weekly basis, I just try to make sure that they are a third, a third, a third.
Cool. Okay, so we have another question from Tamsin Douglas. Do you usually accompany challenges with an email notification?
I don't. Just one time a week is when I send out the challenge notification to those who have not been engaged in the last 2 weeks. And then they get the weekly digest every Tuesday. Other than that, they don't get notifications from us.
Okay, the next question is from, oh, look at that. It's from Adam Hyatt. That's me. How do you manage to publish 20 challenges a week? Is there a schedule, or what are your, how do you do that? What's your best idea for it?
Yeah, I try to plan ahead as much as I can. So I use my challenge spreadsheet, and I turn the challenges green once I publish them. But I also have lists that I use from the team ideas that I can use as a backup if I really just don't have anything for that day, or the StratCom team hasn't had any really great content out that day. Then I can refer to those and use those kind of idea lists as backups. And then I can look at my past weeks of challenges. Since they're all kind of in that spreadsheet document, it's really easy for me to go back and see what I've done in previous weeks. And then I can say, oh, I forgot to do the tip of the week this week. I need to put that in, or whatever the case may be.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Heather, we do have a question for some late entrants. They're asking what PGI does. Could you give us a little description before we carry on?
Oh, sure. We are a collaboration provider based out of Atlanta. So we have different solutions for collaboration and web conferencing. So iMeet, Global Meet, iMeet Live, Global Meet Webinar. We have an Agenda app that is a smart calendar app as well. You can definitely go to our website. We have a lot of different solutions that really help with collaboration.
Okay. The next question is from Spencer Duncan. How do you manage references?
We have the reference group in Insider, so that makes it easy to categorize our references once they join that group. So we have that larger group, and then we also ask them what specifically they would be interested in participating in. So that way when I get a request from sales or from our communications team, like for instance, sales asked for an RFP request a couple weeks ago. We were able to turn that around in 16 hours because I went to my reference group and put up a challenge, and we had 3 customers accept it just like that, and then the prospect was able to call on those 3 people. So I have them in a nice little group, and I put up challenges, and it's been working very well so far.
Okay, next we have Denise Taylor. How do you hook advocates to increase engagement? Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I think the fun challenges are our most popular, but they're quickly followed in second by our educational and our survey challenges. So even in our top 10 most popular challenges, not all of them are fun. I know caption the photo is the most popular challenge we have, but it's followed by our PGI product survey and bookmarking us. So I know that they're not all fun, but I think it kind of engages them when they first come in because those are always featured challenges. And then we'll throw up some just for the day. Like I know my colleague Annie saw a challenge to put up for what was the #1 song on the day you were born. So we just put that up for one day. Or on some Fridays, if I just want to get some interaction, I'll put up some, a challenge that says, have you read or seen anything interesting today? And with all of these, most of these challenges, I do show the comments as visible so that the customers can interact with each other. But any kind of articles that help with productivity, collaboration, anything like that, people seem to really love those. I also put up challenges to share your favorite book or the recipe challenge I mentioned earlier, and then they can engage with each other. It's really all about learning, I think. If they can learn something new when they're in there, I think they're more likely to come back in.
That's perfect. I've been chatting with some people on on the chat, and we're talking about same thing. How do you boost engagement? So great question, Denise. I have one from Ray Gans. Where do you get your best challenge ideas from?
Definitely from the team and brainstorming. Definitely from kind of just being aware of internet activity, things that are, I do a lot of holiday challenges, anything that I can find that's interesting or might appeal to the advocates. But definitely the team brainstorming sessions have been really effective because we come up with some pretty good stuff, and we usually meet on a weekly basis.
Okay, and I have one from Nilesh Surana. What sort of challenges help engage the managers and CXOs in the IT industry?
That's a good question. So I do like to target certain challenges to IT in particular because we actually have a lot of IT customers in our hub. So we actually I've put in some kind of seed community topics, and one of them is for IT members of insiders. So I definitely try to direct them to the community so they can share best practices with each other. And then certain challenges that just really appeal more to the IT customers, like a certain case study where we interviewed someone who was in IT, or any challenges like that, I tried to target that group.
Okay, now we have one from Jim Young. How do you deal with regional sensitivities?
For that, I really just try to maintain a professional tone of voice. I avoid, idioms and expressions so no one misunderstands what I'm saying. I live in Atlanta. I don't say y'all because I'm actually from the Northeast. So I just try to avoid any kind of phrases like that so that everyone who's in there, no matter where they're from, and we do have Canadian customers joining as well, that they will understand what we're saying. I think that professional tone is key.
Professional tone definitely is key, eh? Bo Bandy, what were your best and worst challenges?
Okay, so we, for the best one, definitely caption the photo. I'm not sure why people like that one so much because some of the responses we get are not great when we vote on them, but they like that one. They also like the ones where they, like the Keith, who we featured for our Insider of the Month. They seem to really like that, and the Meet the Insiders Team challenges. For the ones that haven't worked, and we've tested a lot of different things. I think we tried Classic Joke Wednesday 1 or 2 times, and that just did not work out very well. So I would not recommend doing a joke one. And we've done trivia for a while, but I think maybe I was making them too difficult in the beginning. So I actually made at least 2 out of the 4 questions multiple choice, and just try to make them a little bit easier for what people would actually know. Otherwise, they get frustrated. So that's kind of a lesson learned on those. And then the Facebook challenges, that one those bombed. So I stopped doing those. So you definitely, you learn as you go through them. You just need to keep up with the feedback. I'm always asking, them to provide feedback and just kind of look at the results and the reporting for the challenges you're putting up, and then kind of, be flexible and change things accordingly.
Okay, and now I have one from Sheena McKinney. Do you see a difference in engagement when the Hub administrator versus a Hub executive is responding to advocates?
We have talked about having actual PGI executives come in and engage with customers, but we just haven't done that yet. We have a kind of core team of employees. We have 12 in there that I ask that they go in every week and engage with the customers. And then my team of 5, we really are the ones going in almost every day, and I'm in there every day, but they go in almost every day and also help out. And I don't think that there's a difference in engagement. I actually like that, the couple of colleagues I have that go in every day, I actually like that they do, because I think it kind of helps our customers have different faces at PGI and helps them kind of get to know us better. I actually prefer that than them only knowing my name. So I encourage them to respond to messages that come in through the message center. I encourage them to, sometimes email the customers back if they've emailed about something in particular. So I definitely think like having a few people be the face of PGI or your own company is a great idea.
Okay, and now I have one from Lyle Huntley. How do you build up to the big asks like case studies?
This one's all about targeting. So I would never, target someone at the even advanced or definitely not the starter level to do a case study for us. That's something that I set up for the advocate level when we first started out, and I created all of the levels and badges. So I know that they have been in there doing challenges and different types of challenges. I know that they're a happy customer. So that's, at that point is when I would ask them to do a case study or a testimonial or a referral or anything that or a third-party review, for example. I don't want to ask someone who just joined the Hub to do a review for us, because I really don't know what kind of customer they are at that point. So it's definitely about targeting and just watching your customers as they progress through the levels and kind of seeing what challenges they're doing to get to the next level, making sure your badges really line up with that.
Okay, and next we have Pierce Smith. How do you engage other areas of the company when creating challenges relevant to their needs?
And this is great because I engage a lot of different departments at PGI. For instance, like our product team, if they want to know certain feedback about functionality for one of our products, like iMeet, for example, then I could put up a challenge for that and then send the results over to them. We do market research surveys every quarter, so we had a request come in that they needed 6 customers to interview for research purposes. So we actually secured, and they were all interviewed within a week's time. So that would be for product marketing that we would interact with for that. For RFP requests or things like that, for sales, they obviously come to us because we've done demos with all the sales teams and let them know about insiders, and we keep them updated with the progress. And they are, of course, encouraged to reach out to their best customers and invite them in. But we definitely know if they have an RFP request or something like that, we try to get that fulfilled for them. And of course, communicating. And with our integration with Salesforce, that will hopefully happen soon. Our Salesforce team is a little busy at the moment, but we hope to get that integration soon. Then it will definitely be very engaging for the sales team to see what the insiders are doing in there and what kind of challenges they're completing.
Okay, that's awesome. Those are the questions from VIP, and we have a lot of questions right now. So we're going to have to try and get to them a little bit quickly because we are over our time limit right now on the webinar, but that's okay because these are amazing questions and lots of great content is coming. So yeah, if you have any other questions, feel free to send them in the chat right now. Okay, Heather, how many people were invited to the program? This was asked by Karita and Talo.
Okay, I need to go back. In the beginning, we didn't invite that many. Actually, we invited all of the customers on our reference spreadsheet that I mentioned. That was my go-to spreadsheet. And then our base marketing team let us allowed us to invite a small portion of our base customers that had completed surveys for us before. So I think initially we sent to 1,250 people in our first blast.
Okay, perfect. Do you push emails to insiders for challenges?
I send out the weekly digest, and then for those who haven't been engaged, they get the re-engagement email every week.
Okay, thanks Denise Taylor for that question. What mobile app platform do you use? Apple, Android, Windows? Johanna Larson.
What do I use?
Was this something referred to in the presentation? Did I miss that?
What? See. I mean, we have the Insiders is on the Maven app, so that that anyone can access that from an Apple device. So we have customers logging into Insiders from the Maven app.
Yeah, sorry, Joanna, if you could clarify that question. If you are referring to how people can access the app, it would be through Maven, which is an Apple. We're hoping to release it to Android when that's ready, and the mobile browser. We've really worked on both experiences for the users, so both should be really good now. How long do you keep various challenges alive? Will Elliott.
That's a good question. So like that ideal vacation one that we showed earlier, that one's actually been up since probably February, and I don't normally keep them up that long, but it was such a popular challenge and very engaging and interactive with our advocates that I kept that one up. But normally no more than like 2 weeks, except for those ongoing challenges like the reference challenge or case study or testimonial challenge or things like that. The fun ones, they expire every day. So the daily ones, those go away. But any kind of articles or surveys, I usually keep them up for only like a week or max 2 weeks.
Okay. How much time do you spend on average administrating PGI Insiders? From Martha Casanova.
I knew I was going to get that question at some point. So most
of
my
everyone's
time,
mind.
Yeah, I know. Like luckily, with my role, most of my time, I think I would probably say around 80% of my time is spent for Insiders, which is doing the challenges and approving challenges and anything else, fulfilling rewards and things like that. And then I also spend my time on a couple of other larger projects. But I would say that I'm in there throughout the day. I'm not always doing things in there. Usually first thing in the morning is when I post the 2 to 3 challenges that I have up for the day, and maybe in the afternoon I might post another one. But mostly it's just going in throughout the day in between meetings and approving the challenges. So it's a couple hours a day probably.
Okay. Where do you display the results of submissions that you get from challenges? For example, photo captions. This is from Loda Iagartua.
Okay. Yeah, so for those when after we get all the submissions, I export that data, and then my team votes on the top 3 or 4. And then I actually post another challenge with the results. And then I say, here's Eric, Keith, Karen, and Ross's caption ideas, and vote on your best one. So I post those as a new challenge, and then they can vote on their favorite one.
Thank you. This one's from Joe Kanata. Do you have regional challenges?
No, not right now. I don't. I haven't really felt the need for that yet, but I'm sure that that's something we might consider at another point.
Okay. Does the sales team promote the program?
The sales team was given an email template that they can use to send to their customers. So when we first launched this, we actually encouraged them to send personalized email invitations, and we did incentivize them to do that. So I demoed this for all of our different sales teams. We have many different groups of sales teams. So they were given an email template, and then they were told to personalize those and send them out. And then I also created a PowerPoint for them to use after they sign new deals, and they can show them what Insiders is and invite them in as well afterwards. So I've kind of given sales teams some tools to have their customers join.
Okay, and now I have from Alyssa, if you do a contest challenge with a random select winner, how would you select them? Would you use a program to randomly select?
I haven't done the randomly select ones yet. We have the raffle up for April right now, and I think we'll just do like a literal taking it out of a bowl, taking names out of a bowl, or maybe find an online program that can, unbiasedly choose the winner. So we wouldn't actually just pick somebody. we would do it in a way that was fair.
Perfect. And yeah, if you do want to do something like that, you could always just head to Google. Type in random selector or random number generator or whatever, and that can do it for you.
Oh yeah, that's great. I knew there had to be something like that out there.
Oh yeah. Google has the answer to the world. If you Google anything, I can guarantee with enough digging you can find any app to solve any problem you have. And if you can't, you should make one. Any other questions, anybody? I'll just post them to the chat. I'll leave this open for another 30 seconds. Sorry, Ready Talk, for going over the limit. Okay, I'm going to take this time while we're waiting just to say thank you, Heather. This was actually amazing. I loved this class. Everything you were saying was incredible. I'm definitely going to re-listen to this, and I'm going to make some challenge templates based off of what we were talking about. A lot of requests for that in the chat. Heather, you rock. That was
Thanks
incredible.
so much for having me. It was really fun, and I really hope it was helpful to some other people who are trying to come up with new challenge ideas.
That's great. And I have some great comments over here. Beth is saying that this is one of the best, most valuable webinars she's ever attended. We have Martha saying excellent presentation. You have some new fans, Heather.
Thank you guys so much.
Okay, so we're going to sign off right now. Again, this will be available in VIP, the recording of it. The challenge should be up tomorrow. If you don't go to VIP, you should go to VIP right now. That's awesomeness.influitivevip.com. Check it out. If you have any questions, email support@influitive.com. I'll respond to you. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did.